What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if next we're going to get a Destroy All Humans 2 remake. So obviously, first one came out yesterday. People seem to be really liking it. Obviously, critically, may not be that way. And now we look to the future. Yesterday I talked about, could we get a Destroy All Humans 3? A new game, kind of ignoring the fact that we had two more after Destroy All Humans 2. And now we look at, can we get a Destroy All Humans 2 remake? What that would look like, if that makes sense, all things like that. Now, really quickly, before I jump into this, I want to promote our Discord server. The link for it will be in the description below. If you guys have not yet checked it out, please do. If you feel inclined, plenty of people there willing to talk about just about anything with you. Really nice group of people as well. So if you guys haven't checked it out, again, the link for it will be in the description below. So obviously, like I said, yesterday, Destroy All Humans, the remake of the game came out. I've been playing it. I've been really liking it. Does it, has it aged the greatest? No, not necessarily, but it's something we've talked about in the past. When you review things like this and you say things like, okay, well, does the game hold up in 2020? Well, at the same time, it is a remake of a game that didn't come out in 2020. So, at the end of the day, it may not even be possible. I really, again, I'm really enjoying it. People seem to be really enjoying it as well. No real way of judging that based off of, I guess, Metacritic user scores or user scores in general. Based off of when I'm recording this, review scores aren't even allowed to go up user-wise on Destroy All Humans. Okay, now by the time you guys see this video, I think they probably will, or maybe a little bit later today. But as of right now, they can't. From what I've seen on my own videos, from other people's stuff, it seems like people are really enjoying it, which is awesome to see. You look back in time, Destroy All Humans, the first game obviously came out in 2005, June 21st, 2005, got a 74 based off the critics. Right, we've talked about that before. It wasn't received all that well. It got an 8.1 user score. Now, again, this is just Metacritic. This is only based off of, 76 people. That is not a lot of scores at all. But you go to Destroy All Humans 2. Also a 74, 8.6 user rating. Now, for me, I remember growing up, I loved Destroy All Humans 1 and 2. Okay, those were two games that I played quite a bit. But Destroy All Humans 2 was the game for me. I remember growing up I even maybe think that could have been the first Destroy All Humans game I played. I feel like I maybe even went 2, then 1. Honestly, though, I can't remember the order. So when we talk about the future Destroy All Humans, I guess we all have to be on board with the idea that we want more, right? And again, when you remake a game, in my opinion, especially when you remake a game like this, that's why you do it. Obviously there is a reason of just trying to resurrect a game that, a group of people loved, but not everybody loved it, and trying, again, kind of sparkle it up for 2020. Okay, that could be a reason. Obviously, money is a reason, right? Because you don't make games without money being a factor in it. But if this first Destroy All Humans game does well, this remake that came out yesterday, you got to wonder, okay, well, what's the future for this game? Now, again, yesterday, I talked about, all right, well, you have a couple options. I mean, I guess firstly, you just leave it alone and you don't make any more Destroy All Humans games. Okay, that's the first option. In my opinion, that's obviously the worst one, but again, you guys can judge it on your own. Second option is continue the remake brigade, right? We've seen games like Crash, and Crash, as I even said yesterday, is the example that I look to a lot when I talk about remakes, right? Because it's a old franchise, older, obviously way older than Destroy All Humans. I would say that got a little bit more love back in the day than Destroy All Humans did, in terms of both critically and like critics, in terms of game journalists and also fans. But again, if you're a fan of Destroy All Humans, you're a fan of Destroy All Humans, right? I'm not trying to minimalize anything, but that game seemed to get more love. But you look at what Crash did. They did the Insane trilogy. That did absolutely incredible, right? Everybody loved it. It sold amazingly everywhere around the world. Actually did really well. Team Racing, right? But at the same time they were doing Team Racing, this, Crash 4, It's About Time, it was also being made. So really, the Insane trilogy sold them on, okay, people have indeed not forgotten about Crash, right? People still want Crash. So we have another team, they're working on Team Racing. Let's resurrect another Crash game, again, one that's very much loved by a lot of people. And then at the same time, another studio, we're going to have them make Crash a brand new Crash game, okay? It's going to forget a couple of the Crash games, but we're going to have them make a brand new Crash game. So that's the situation we had with Crash. In my opinion, it's about as perfect as you could have gotten. I would even say, you know what? You can give us more remakes. If they want to go new Crash game, remake an old one, I mean, I'm all for a Crash Bash game. So give me Crash Bash remake after Crash 4, then make Crash 5, then remake, something in some other Twinsanity, then make a Crash 6. You know what I mean? You can go back and forth. There's plenty of old Crash games that would do great, but at the same time, you want to make brand new games. I mean, that ultimately is, I think, the vision of a lot of game developers. Now, again, I'm not a game developer. I don't know that for sure. But in my opinion, if I'm a game developer, remaking things is fine. Eventually, though, I think I'd want to be able to make my own version of that property, right? So now let's put it over to Destroy All Humans. We have this Destroy All Humans game. Now, again, they could stop here. If this game sells terribly, by the way, I think that would probably hurt a lot of prospects, right? So this game probably has to do pretty well. I don't see why it wouldn't. Again, I think this game has a pretty big fan base. There's been a lot of promotion. This game has been around even in the media in terms of like previews, and it's been at different like PAX events and stuff like that. I mean, people have known about this game for some time. I think this game is going to do well. I think and I hope this game sells well enough where they look at it and they say, all right, well, what do we do? Like, it's Black Forest Games, right, is a developer for this game. I hope that their publisher looks to them and says, okay, look, you guys did great. It did really well critically. It didn't do very well, but critically it didn't do well the first time. Fans really loved it. You got, it sold, X amount of copies, a couple million units. We think let's keep going. And you know what I mean? So the question is, what do you do? There's only two options if you continue Destroy All Humans. Do you continue the remake where you remake Destroy All Humans 2, or do you make a brand new Destroy All Humans? Now, again, what I talked about yesterday, if you make a brand new Destroy All Humans, you have to decide, all right, are we going to still assume 2 happened and make it after 2? So we're making Destroy All Humans 3, or this one is literally called, and this actually confused me as well, because I had always thought it was literally called Destroy All Humans Remake, but if you look around, even if you look at the official game, it's called Destroy All Humans. There's actually no remake there. So, that actually was news to me like 2 days ago. I didn't know that. Now I do, right? But it is called Destroy All Humans. So the question is, would they do a Destroy All Humans 2? But when I say that, what do I mean? Do you remake Destroy All Humans 2 and call it Destroy All Humans 2? Or is there literally a second Destroy All Humans game where maybe they forget about a lot of the stuff that's happened in the past? See, what's tough is they stopped the numbering, right? When Destroy All Humans 1 and 2, and then they did 2 kind of like spin-offs. And again, those last 2 games kind of killed the franchise. They did not do well. They seemed like very lazily put together, right? There was a lot of issues with them overall. That really halted any progress Destroy All Humans had. Again, it was popular enough to get a sequel. It was popular enough to get 2 more games over the next couple years. But after that, I mean, again, the game literally fell apart. People stopped caring about it. They started upsetting people that were actually their fans, right? And then when you have that, you kind of lost at that point, right? So again, you gotta ask yourself the question, or they have to ask themselves the question, do we want to make a second Destroy All Humans game, a brand new one, eliminate all the stuff that happened, or do we remake the second game? Now, if you were to ask me, okay, now, again, yesterday I talked about Destroy All Humans 3 or a brand new game, and now if you ask me for Destroy All Humans 2 remake, yesterday I probably would have told you, just give me a brand new game. The more I think about it, though, the more I do think it kind of makes sense to just continue what you're doing, even, again, following the Crash method. Now, the problem with Crash is there were different studios. The same studio that made Insane Trilogy was not the same one that made Team Racing, not the same one that made this new Crash game, right? So they had different studios working on this. Activision did. This game, again, THQ, they have a lot. THQ is massive, and they have a lot of different studios, but obviously they chose these guys, and this is, their job to do this. So again, the question is, do they go to them and say, okay, do you want to make a brand new game, or do you want to make Destroy All Humans 2 remake? And then maybe we can get another studio to make a brand new game. It's interesting. I think that obviously, again, depends on how this game sells. If this game sells terribly, it's over. And that's sad. That's honestly sad, because I love this franchise. I'd like to see it kind of return in a more modern way. Now, I think they did do a pretty good job modernizing it with this game. But again, like when you're in your UFO, it doesn't the controls of it are a little wonky, even when you're moving crypto. He moves definitely, it feels like 2005, right? It doesn't feel like 2020. But again, that's like the core mechanic of the game. There's not all that much you can do to change that. So I would like to see it return in a brand new way. At the same time, again, for me personally, Destroy All Humans 2 was always my favorite. So if they wanted to remake a second one, I mean, that is my more popular of the first 2. So I would, if you would have asked me a couple of years ago, okay, before this even happened, you said, if you had a choice, you could only remake one of these 2 games, which would you have chosen? I would have chosen the second one. Would it have made sense to start at 2 instead of 1? No, obviously not, but in my opinion, 2 just has better quality. In my opinion, it definitely amplifies everything that you were already doing in the first game. So I really love, again, I remember myself playing 2 a whole lot more than playing 1. I do remember myself playing 1, but 2 was always just so special to me. So I think it's likely. That's my, instead of dancing around the issue, let me just address it right here. I do think it is likely that we will get not just more Destroy All Humans, but I feel like it should probably go, and it probably will go, with Destroy All Humans 2 Remake. I think I'd maybe prefer a brand new game just, again, to modernize it, bring it back, soft reboot, but obviously, soft reboot, but with that being said, like taking into consideration what happened in 1. But at the same time, I don't know, 2 was looked at really well. And I don't know if I'm in a minority opinion where I love 2 more, but if a lot of people love 2 more than 1 and they know that, then they may even be safer doing that. You know what I mean? Because now you have all the people that got the first game, and then you also have the people saying, like, okay, I'm waiting for the second one because that was always my favorite. You're going to get them, and you're going to get the people that bought the first game. So actually, the second game's being remade could actually really help them, and then make. I don't want the last 2 remade. I don't think that's necessary at all. I think maybe remake the second one, and then think long and hard if you're going to make a brand new game, 3, and you eliminate what happened in the other 2, right? So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Do you think there should be a brand new Destroy All Humans game? Do you think Destroy All Humans 2 should be remade? Let me know your thoughts, as always, in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And like I said, if you guys haven't joined our Discord server, check it out. It'll be in the description below. Greatly appreciate the support, guys, and I hope to see you all on the next video.